Monday Health Minutes, sponsored by Valley Health.
Hello, I'm Melanie Schaefer, and this is Valley Health Minutes. Today we're talking about sudden infant death syndrome with Dr. Daniel Whitmore. There's some new guidelines out, and he's going to share more information about the condition and about what we can watch for as parents. So talk to us about what exactly SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome, is.
So SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. For the longest time, it's been a death that can't be explained or determined, or the causation of it. But now we think that there is probably with an unsafe sleep environment and certain risk factors. Now the new risk model is this triple risk model we think that's going on, that during a critical time in an infant's development, there's a period of time when he's very vulnerable. And this period of time with the vulnerability, they often have like possibly impaired response or arousal, impaired cardiorespiratory system, or an impaired autonomic nervous system, which controls breathing and heart rate. And there's some type of event like an unsafe sleep environment that will possibly trigger death.
So is there a particular age? I know this is something that parents fear so greatly, that this could happen to their precious baby. Is there a particular age that this happens to, or is there ever a safe time where you're finally like, we're through this part?
Usually it's going to happen within the first year. So it could be within the first few weeks of life, but it could be up to the age of 1. That's why it's recommended that the infant sleep in the same room with you for the first year, at least for the first 6 months, so you have a closer observation of the infant. But up to age 1, usually after age 1 is unlikely. We don't see it near as much, but 1 year and younger.
Okay. Now, in the room with you, but not necessarily in the bed with you. You're talking about safe sleep environments. Describe what exactly that is.
Yep. So, and that's one of the newer guidelines. So, the older recommendations were the baby should always be on their back to sleep. That's where they use that phrase, back to sleep. So, the infant should always be on their backs. They should never be on their side. They should never be on their stomach when they're sleeping. And when they are sleeping, they should be on a firm surface. So, you don't want any soft bedding. You don't want any bumper pads or any toys or anything in the crib. Also, a lot of times you have to watch for overheating. So a lot of parents, especially in the wintertime, will want to put extra blankets. The general rule of thumb is that they probably need one more layer of clothing than you need. And that's going to kind of prevent that overheating that sometimes can happen with infants. We also recommend no weighted blankets or onesies. Sometimes we'll do that just because often, if we felt the baby's wrapped tight, they'll sleep better. But actually that can impair their respiration, so we don't really recommend weighted sleepers or blankets. Smoking in the household, that's also another risk for SIDS. Pacifier use. There's been some studies that 90% of SIDS can be prevented with use of pacifiers.
By using a pacifier?
By using a pacifier.
And how does that help?
It probably helps them maintain their airway. And sometimes the tongue may kind of fall back. It's got to be with that upper airway, keeping it open. And so some studies show that pacifiers are good to use and should be used.
Wow, that's encouraging. Mine all love their passies, so it's nice to hear that that can be helpful.
And then take it away.
Yes, yeah, because then it can cause other issues with teeth and speech and all of that.
That's right.
A lot of people, they get all those beautiful bedding sets. So again, remind us that there's just the sheet in the bed with the baby for safe sleeping conditions and no extra things?
Right. They all those extra beddings and bumpers that we think is going to keep the kid from going in between the railings is not safe. And matter of fact, they're probably going to come out soon with this Safe Baby Sleep Act, where they're going to probably take off the market all sleep recliners and bumpers. So that's probably going to come out because they're so unsafe. Some of the newest recommendations for American Pediatrics is inclined sleeping. So a lot of parents like to put their kids in an inclined position for maybe possible acid reflux. That's pretty common in pediatrics. And also, they also do it sometimes because they think the baby just sleeps better when they're inclined. But studies show that when they're inclined, it's harder for them to maintain their airway, and they use more abdominal muscles, so they tire out more easily. So that's one of the newer recommendations, no inclined sleeping. The second recommendation that we kind of talked about is no bed sharing, but room sharing. So if you're in the bed or on the couch with somebody, then you're going to be more apt to be suffocated or have strangulations just because you're so close and you can accidentally roll it on the baby. The other recommendation is for emergency sleep locations. You know, sometimes you're displaced from your home for a fire or you're going on vacation and you don't have a crib with you. And a lot of people say, well, let's go ahead and just put them in the bed with us. What they're now recommending is put them in a dresser drawer or use a cardboard box. So that's where it's flat and you're not going to have that accidental suffocation.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Something very simple that can keep your child with you in the room so you can monitor, but separate from your physical self to keep them safe.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Some great new information for new parents out there, because SIDS is a worry that everyone has. Dr. Whitmore, thank you so much for sharing these tips with everybody.
Thank you, Melanie.
And join us next Monday for another Valley Health Minutes.